Hello, my name is Tom Paliki and I'm here today to talk to you about mandatory military service and why I think this program should be relooked at and rethought about. Today we have many crazy things going on throughout the world: bombings, kidnappings, etc., etc., etc. Even knowing that we have 22 terrorist cells in America alone is terrifying to some people, me being one of them. To know that terrorists can be of all ages, all colors, all sexes, doesn't matter anymore. It's not like you can point them out in the crowd or they're wearing marked jerseys or certain camouflage gear. Today they blend in with everybody. What do I think that we should be doing? I think we should impose a mandatory military service for people that are just getting out of high school, 2 years, allow them to serve the country. This does not mean that you have to serve into a war or go into combat. There are many jobs within the military and government that would allow people to get in, learn a skill, help the country, help their fellow Americans grow and improve on the nation itself. I think it's time that Americans step up and defend and learn to take on things for their country. This would help unite the country. Normally, with military service, you have bonding between service members, even with other military branches. Today, after serving so many years, people, oh, what branch are you in? Navy, Army, oh, blah, 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 and they'll bounce back and forth, banter back and forth. This causes a camaraderie and a unity that the country needs again. Another thing that this would help with the country is skills and lessons. Life learned lessons that you just can't teach in a classroom or in a book. They're things that actually, day-to-day, lifelong lessons that would benefit anybody, everybody, in all actuality. Skills. When I was stating about the jobs that are in not only the military but in the government that help the country run. We have these 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds getting out of high school, go into these jobs. Yes, they're not in combat, but they are gears that are helping the country run, so to speak. Speaking from first-hand experience, I've worked in the Navy for over 6 years. I went in when I was 17. Some pros and cons to the military. I had a lot of travel. I saw over 22 countries in the 6 years. I was wounded, so that was a con. Again, going back to the education that I received while I was in the military, not only again the education of being a medic, but the life lessons of how actually taking care of patients out in the field or in a hospital, and then the life lessons of just growing up, being 17 to 21 while I was in the military, really helped me grow and become the man that I am today. Also, after I joined, 3 of my cousins have since joined the military, and I still have one that's in the military serving in Japan right now. One of the reasons why I think that the military service would do well for the country, for the youth of the country, you get to experience many things that normal people that haven't served in the military would have learned or experienced. Being able to get on special ships like an LHD, which is a landing helicopter dock. I'm sorry. nuclear subs or aircraft carriers or frigates, all of which I was able to ride in or on during a tour. Some of the cons, they say you're going to take away from education. Taking away from education when really you're giving skills and lessons learned, life lessons during the military service. Also, in a lot of states, there are bills and grants to help you with college post the military. In Illinois, for instance, you have the GI Bill. Now, the GI Bill is something that you, as a military member, pay for in boot camp, and the money grows until you get out. And then when you use it, the money comes back to you free of taxes. And also in Illinois, there's an Illinois federal grant or an Illinois grant that allows tuition to be paid for an Illinois-funded school for veterans. So these are two things that are really going to help with the education by doing a mandatory military service. One of the things is there's 60 countries across the world, over 60 countries, that have a form of mandatory military service. Excuse me. With the growing threat that's happening all around us, with even the 22 known terror cells in America, it is time for Americans to step up and do something about it. We need to pitch in. It's not just something that will go away or a few will handle. With the population that is growing in America, it would help the armed forces and the government ease some of that stress. Again, there's many ways to serve your country. It's not just going into war or picking up a gun or whatever, being a medic and going in and protecting or saving Marines or service members. There are, perfect jobs in the rear with the gear, so to speak, from a military slang. What that means is there are people that are allowing those forces to go out and do their job. There are people in the back that take care of that have never left America, but will ensure that the service members are taken care of while they're gone. Again, this will help gain skills that are needed to help the American population and communities grow. It'll improve the unity, grow communities, and get rid of some of this nonsense violence that's going on around the country. I hope after this speech, everybody kind of thinks about this program and looks at why we should look at having a mandatory military service within the United States and to help ensure that we have a safe country and community. Thank you. Have a great night.